I've got camera lady over there out of the way. I think other than throwing something over it and pulling it down, which would be the best way to do it, the next best way would be just to let it cut it back more at the hinge, make it super unsafe, and I'll be behind this little bitty tree for a little bit of safety, but I'm just going to nibble away at this until it goes, and hopefully it'll slide back this way, or it'll be really loose and I'll be able to just kind of twist it off to the side and then it'll fall. So we'll see if we can make that happen. A little lefty, if I can. Well, sometimes you get something in your way that you like for protection, but then you can't get to what you're trying to get to. Another nice thing about this chainsaw is it's really light. I was actually talking to somebody that had one, and he said he cut himself, not bad, but he cut himself because it gave him too much confidence. He says, I can wield it with one hand, but it's still a little heavy for one hand. So he got overconfident and hurt himself. Not bad, but hopefully he learned his lesson. All right, I can see it wanting to give. Can you see this? Can you see the whole tree?
Not all of it.
Go that way a little bit. Be stable. You just went in the same line. You got to go down. You have to change your angle. Well, now you got those little trees in the way. You want to come up here, like right there? They won't slide back at you that way. Or you can go down and then up the other side a little bit. You'll be safe there. Careful. No, not down here. Over there. You're getting closer. I want you to stay far away. Yeah, hide behind that big tree. That's good. That's going to be a good spot. Get where you can see. You need to come down a little more. Can you see? Can you see this tree?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm just going to try to push it off that other tree. Get it rocking. If I can. And if not, it's not like I have a lot of leverage here. Whoa, jeans hung up on the tree. If not, I just gotta cut a little more. Got this. Oh yeah. Woo, that was perfect, right? That was perfect. All right, pause it and then come on down here. All right, so here we have our downed tree, and we've got a barbed wire fence here, and actually almost the whole tree fell on this side of it, which was kind of nice. That tree that it hung up in guided it this way when it came the rest of the way. So that works out well. I can toss everything up the hill that side and have my slave labor children take it for me. So pretty stable, hung up on a couple of these little trees, and I can just start cutting this into pieces for myself. Find a good spot. Get my leg out of the way so when it goes it doesn't hurt me. Also guessing that it's going to collapse down, but I'm not sure, because if you look down that way, the tree's hung up in two spots. So I'm kind of guessing where most of the weight is and which way the log is going to pinch. And if it was going to pinch onto my saw, I think it probably would have done it by now, but I don't want to risk it, so I'm going to just do a little bit from this side too, and it might just snap. We'll see. Oh, did you see it wanting to come up? Yeah, it was coming up. So that's good that I didn't keep going from the bottom. It probably would have pinched. And there we go. So I've got the first big chunk off. And then what I like to do actually is cut it into lengths that I can just throw over my shoulder to get out of the bottom. That way I get more bang for my buck, so I'm not carrying loose stuff. So what I can do is just kind of gauge, all right, I mean about 6 feet here. I've got a 6-foot wingspan, so I'd be over to approximately here. There she goes. Did you see that roll? That's satisfying. It's like a lava lamp. Super satisfying to watch. All right, come over here. And this is going to be the more dangerous piece because it's completely up off the ground. Do you see that? Look, the whole length of it. Yeah, the whole length of it. So you're, a foot or 2 or 3 up off the ground, the whole length. And it's steep right there too, so it's harder to get a spot to stand that's stable. So what I'll do is I'll make it as small as I can while I have it hung. So I'm going to cut a couple sections off this side first. Again, I'm trying not to hurt any of these smaller trees. Oh, and another thing. So I've got a really small wood stove in my house. I can't put big chunks in the fireplace, right? So kind of a rule of thumb is you should match the chainsaw that you're using to cut your lengths of firewood with, well, the log of course, but if you can, also with your wood stove. So my wood stove will take like 12-inch sections of wood, piece of cake. If I go more than 14, they're not going to really fit in there very well. So I can use the bar, okay, or I could use my foot to measure. So that's about a foot right there. So I can use that to measure, see where I am, and then cut. My favorite thing is when you see somebody using a chainsaw and you're ready for this, you're gonna laugh, right? As if that's gonna help. Now what you can do is change your angle though, because then you're reducing how much you're going through at any one point. It kind of just helps the chainsaw get a better cut. Like that. Oh, sorry, little fella. All right, so that's what we're gonna do with the rest of the log. I'm gonna probably take this one, and then I'll take a couple off that side just to reduce the overall size, and then I'll cut the middle and just try not to get in the way. Go ahead and pause it.
Not know that I'm recording.
Now you get to it. Are you recording?
Yeah?
Oh. I gotta get to the other side. Let me hop over this barbed wire. Gotta be really careful here, don't I? Woo! You can see what I mean here. It's really, it's not wet, but it's not dry right now either. I gotta be careful I don't slip right into that barbed wire. But I definitely don't want to be on the other side with a log coming at me. Now when I cut through this, I got the barbed wire right there, and I don't want to hurt my chainsaw. So I gotta be careful, control my cut, know where everything is, and these are real close. So. So I'm going to put my foot on this fence. And yeah, it's cool. You can't see from that way probably with that camera, but the tree grew through the fence. So the wire is actually going through the fence. So it's pretty strong. I can actually rely on that, I think. So I will. Now this is going to want to buckle down as I cut. So if I cut through on the top, what's it going to do to my bar? Is it going to pinch it? And then I'd get my bar stuck, wouldn't I? So I can start here if I want, but I better not go far, because as it starts to buckle down, it would pinch my bar. So I'm going to go under. Get my foot out of the way. And now we're a lot safer because everything is on the ground and I can get on the other side of this fence because it is not the best spot to be. Alright, pause it. So grab this out of the way here. Of course, if you can, get it up where you can keep one foot on it and cut pieces off and use your resources, use your surroundings as best you can. Whew, it's starting to get hot. Somebody asked me one time, I said, why don't you wear safety glasses? You're an idiot for not wearing safety glasses. And there's some things I would always wear safety glasses for. But if I feel like I'm less safe because I'm wearing them, I don't. Or if I don't feel like there's an improvement. So when you're using a chainsaw, you are going to direct the chips where you want them to go. So if I'm cutting right here, the chips are going to fly down there. They're not coming at my face. If I want the chips to go that way, I come on this side, right? If I have to have them directed toward a certain direction, I can just get off to the side, okay? So there's a lot of ways I can mitigate where the chips fly. What I can't mitigate is the wind, okay? If it's windy or if it's swirling, they're gonna get in behind my glasses anyway. So that's kind of how I feel on that. Now, if I'm doing something where there's more high-speed random stuff flying, then yeah, I'll be putting on some safety glasses. Same thing with gloves. Gloves, doing this, no brainer. But sometimes you're more safe if you have the dexterity of being able to use your fingers than if you've got gloves. So you just got to be careful and think things through before you just, oh, everybody says I have to wear this or that, I'll be more safe. Not necessarily. Oh, we're also still on the first battery pack. And remember, this is designed for a string trimmer for a small yard. So I'm impressed. This is a hardwood and it's dry. If it was moist, it would actually cut through a little bit easier. So going through a hardwood with that's dry, I'm pretty impressed. Another nice thing about this is if it's a beginner on a chainsaw, or maybe just somebody that gets frustrated with having to figure out, get exactly the right fuel mixture, or they just don't need anything that big, a little chainsaw like this is all most people would need. Ooh, want to roll on me. Here it's starting to struggle. Now it gets a little harder because it's short. chainsaw. I mentioned I was using it to rip before. I got a couple of oaks that have been down for a couple of years and they're dried out, and I was gonna maybe try my hand at some furniture making, and so I was ripping. I used this as far as I could, and then I used the 18-inch Husqvarna the rest of the way. It worked pretty good. This one's a little easier to control. Whoop, bogged it down. I'm not having to put really any pressure on it. If I put a lot of pressure on it, you bog the battery down, the electric motor. I mean, look at this. We got a lot of firewood here already. Oh. I'll come over here and keep going. We'll see how many cuts we can make with this thing. This is a, ooh, almost got you. This is a pretty good size, pretty good diameter log too. Put my hand on here. That's about 7 inches or so. You can stand right there. It's going to pull the chips toward me. Bites right in, doesn't it? You get close to the end, I usually like to kick it off like that. That way I don't go into the dirt or the rocks or whatever's on the other side. Put out of the way there. Make sure you're stable. Or what you can do is stop about 3/4 of the way through and notch them all like that, and then roll it over and pop, 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 pop. Cut them into pieces. I think that's what I'll do from here the rest of the way. What do you think the odds are we can finish with this battery? What do you think? Are you a betting camera lady? She's nodding yes. Remember, if I had a bigger wood stove, I'd be able to make longer cuts too. I'm making more cuts. The battery's wanting to quit, and I'm not into draining them all the way down unless I have to, so we're gonna pause. I'm gonna get the new battery and we'll start over. I forget if we paused before I popped this out, but it's got a little mechanism on there. You just pop it in, pop it out. Get the new one, pop it in, we're ready to go. That's a little bit more convenient, I think, than mixing fuel and then pull starting. This thing's just ready to go at a moment's notice. Charging those little batteries, the small ones like that, only takes an hour or two. So a pretty quick turnaround. In fact, on small jobs like this, you'd probably be taking a break in between not cuts, but every so often. Or maybe if I'm waiting, I can start running these logs up the hill or whatnot. It's funny, I said I was gonna keep them in longer pieces, didn't I? And then bring them up. Well, forgot about doing that, didn't I? I got carried away showing off how much cutting it can do. So I guess I'll show you what I mean by cutting this long one here into two reasonably sized pieces that I can cut easily. I could probably, carry. I could probably carry this one, but there's no reason to try to push myself on the hills especially. Rock under it, so I'm definitely going to try not to go all the way through. Do it like that instead. Alright, so those are all cut to length so I can get out of here. Before I go any further, let's count real quick. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, maybe 15 cuts through 7, 8-inch diameter logs on that one smaller battery. Like I said, the bigger battery is a 5 amp hour. These are 2.5 amp hours. So what I can do with these two, I could do with that one battery. This one's, you know, a little bit bigger diameter from further down the tree. So I'm going to cut this in half too. I don't know if you could hear that with the video, but as I was going through that, I could actually hear a really low tone, that low vibrato of a really dry log. So that sounds wonderful. You can see under the bark it's damp, but inside it's dry. So I'm super excited. That's going to get us through the rest of the way through the winter, hopefully, because it's been a reasonably cool winter. We've been able to use a decent amount of firewood. I don't see a reason to go any further on this video, do you? I think we've cut the tree down, cut it into pieces, and now we just got to do the hard work of hauling it up the hill. Oh, and chopping it. I guess I could do a video on how to chop wood, as if there's none of those, right? All right, hit it.